Hi, I'm Zachary Cowan, the author of the Study Daily books, and thanks for joining me for a look at Doctrine and Covenants, section 76, part 2. Every villain has a backstory. In all comic books, in all action movies and superhero things, the villain always has a backstory. And our villain is no exception. He has a backstory. So today, we're going to study some of that, what makes Satan tick. Go ahead, pause your video, and check out Doctrine and Covenants, section 76, verses 25 through 29, and see what you can learn about Satan. Hey, thanks for studying. One of the things you probably saw in this section as you were reading just these brief verses is that there's lots of different names given to the evil one. One of them is Satan, which means that he's a slanderer. A slanderer is a person who makes false statements, things that are untrue, and he tells them. Why? To bring others down. Another one is that he's called the devil. That means that he's the adversary or a spoiler. He's an adversary and a spoiler. All he tries to do is spoil things. Another one that you got is perdition. Well, to be called perdition means utter destruction or to bring damnation. That's not a pleasant thing. And finally, the name that he's given, or he had, was Lucifer, which means that he was a light bearer, a sunbeam, a messenger of light, one of those types of things. And yet the heavens weep over him. Notice that Lucifer was his name. He no longer qualifies for that. That's a premortal name, and instead he's been renamed. Slanderer, devil, adversary, he has all of these. He's become Satan. He's become something different. I think Satan's tried to work really hard to make us think things about him. Notice that he was a son of the morning, not like the son of the morning. Notice he was an angel in authority, but not the only angel in authority. I think he's worked really hard to try to convince people that he was like second in command. There's no way. You can't tell me that in the premortal life, he was more advanced than President Nelson. I don't believe that. I think he's a slanderer and a liar, and he's trying to convince people that he's greater than he ever was. But he's not. He no longer brings light. Everywhere he's gone, he's become a light taker, and he's no longer a light maker. And thus is an example for us that in every relationship we have in every moment, we can seek to be a light maker rather than a light taker, that we can seek to build people up through truth rather than slander them or be an adversary. We don't want to spoil things or relationships or anything else. In fact, look at verse 29. He makes war with the saints. Why the saints? Because they're light makers. And so our goal is to go be a light maker and not a light taker in every situation. If we find ourselves starting to spoil things or to be adversarial, then we can correct those things and we can change them, because we learn a difference between those who follow Satan and those who don't. The rest of this section, a good chunk of it now, is we're going to learn about hell, exactly what it is, what it's like, and who goes there. So go ahead, pause your video, check out verses 30 through 38, and then verses 45 through 49, and see what you can learn about hell. Thanks for studying. One of the things that I've noticed over the years is sometimes kids who are kind of bad or kind of struggle, they think they're going to hell. And so as we learn and we talk about this with students and with people, man, you can be relieved. Who's going to go to hell? It's really simple. Those who become like Satan, that's who goes to hell. Those who become like him, they become sons of perdition. Rather than becoming light makers and sons of God and daughters of God, they become sons and daughters of perdition. Destruction follows wherever they go. And they're not repentant about it. That's why they go there. They go to hell because they want to go there. They become like Satan. Notice that they're vessels of wrath, that they've done this. In verse 35, they've denied the Spirit. They deny the only begotten to the point that they crucify him of flesh. This is my interpretation on that. They would kill Jesus Christ if they knew who he was and had the opportunity. We learn in the Book of Mormon, those who destroy prophets are destroyed. They would be willing to bathe their hands in the blood of prophets. That's what it takes to go to hell. You have to be like Satan. And people aren't. Most people are repentant and are sorry. And they do feel remorse. And they do want to change. Everybody else can be redeemed. And those who go to hell, Notice that Jesus Christ is not even willing to say, here it is, it's final. The end, the breadth, the depth, the type of suffering. He's not going to reveal it to anybody except for those who go there. He's going to change. He's going to help. Now, this whole section, in the middle of this discussion on hell, they interrupted Joseph and Sidney to teach us and say, look, in verse 37 and 38, these are the only ones who really eventually cannot be redeemed. Because the good news of the gospel, according to verses 39 through 44, is that Jesus Christ saves everybody else. Go ahead and look at these verses. All, except, like these words, all. Jesus Christ saves all, the whole world from sin, except those who go with Satan, except those who refuse to let the atonement have sway in their hearts. Everybody else can be redeemed to some aspect through the atonement of Jesus Christ. This is the good news of the gospel. So who goes to hell? Only those who want to. And as far as we go, according to these verses, 39 through 44, who gets exalted and saved? Jesus Christ's answer is, yes, you can be exalted and saved unless we say no. That's it. As long as we don't say no and we keep trying, Jesus Christ will save us, our families, our friends. And that is the good news of the gospel. Unless we become like Satan and we try to spoil and make war worth everything we go, becoming a vessel of wrath, denying any good thing. That is not who. I don't know very many people like that. I don't know if I know anybody like that. We are on our way to be redeemed by Jesus Christ. What a great message to study. All right, we'll see you next time.